Has anyone ever heard of someone saying that they're built different? And has anybody actually meant it as a footballer? That is the topic of today's video. We are going to talk about what is genetic, what is not. And as always, we're going to combine being objective with common sense to give you guys exact advice that you can take home to be a better footballer. If you're new here, hi, my name is Andy. I'm a physio from the United States, and I specialize in helping soccer players. So let's discuss 3 things that are commonly seen as genetic, as things that you can't change, and we're going to discuss if it's actually true or not. Number 1 being speed, something that everyone thinks that you are simply born or blessed with. Is this true? To be honest, for the most part, yes. It is absolutely clear that there is a clear genetic bias when athletes want to express their speed. And for direct evidence of this, look no further than looking at the sport in the world that is most dominated by speed, being track and field. Not only are the best sprinters on the world of the same genetic background, being from the western half of Africa or the Caribbean, they also have biological traits that help them get faster. For example, the ratio of the length of your upper leg to your lower leg is actually really important when determining how fast someone will be. In addition, some people who are genetically faster have more fast twitch muscle fibers, and they have a longer Achilles tendon, which allows them to transmit force quicker and with more intensity. All of this makes an athlete very, very fast. Now, that does not mean that you shouldn't train speed. That does not mean if you have a certain speed, it can't get better or worse. All it means is that your baseline is pretty much set, but you can go up or down from there. For example, if you consistently work on speed and power in the gym and you consistently do sprint-based workouts, your speed will go up. And that's not to say a footballer like Sergio Busquets will turn into a footballer like Kylian Mbappe. You can get just a little bit. And that little bit is always important. That little bit can mean the difference of you getting onto the end of a cross or not, or you sticking out your leg to make an interception or not. And if you really want to do what's in your best interest to be the best footballer that you can be, you should want that little bit. But yes, in general, speed is genetic. Next, let's talk about height. And some would think that height is completely genetic and there is nothing anybody can do about it. And those people are mostly right. And this is a point that I think is relatively obvious, so I'm not going to spend too much time elaborating here, but just know that in general, height is 60 to 80% determined by genetics, with the other 20 to 40% being the environment around you. And that 20 to 40% could be very variable. For example, we're talking about what you eat. We're talking about what you drink. We're talking about, do you spend time in the sun? We're talking about, do you get your daily dose of vitamins to give you all the nutrients you need to live and thrive to be the best footballer that you can be? So no, it's not completely genetic. Of course, genetics play a large role, but there are other things that need to be taken into account as well. Finally, let's talk about injury prone. And finally, let's talk about being injury prone, because I think this is where things start to get interesting, but it's also where we need to apply our common sense. To my knowledge, and if I'm wrong, which I could be, please put your thoughts in the comment section below if you have an article or a paper or a piece of literature that you'd like me to review. But to my knowledge, there isn't much of a directly proven link between past family injury history in sport as it relates to that risk being transmitted down into the next generation. But this is where I think common sense is really important. For example, if you have 3 brothers who all tore their ACL, well, I'm not going to say it's definitely going to happen to you, but if it did, well, damn, I wouldn't be surprised. If your dad and your grandpa both have a history of having hip-related injuries or hip issues in general, well, again, not surprised if it happens to you. And of course, there are so many other factors, and every injury is its own individual circumstance. But one thing that stays consistent throughout your time as a footballer is you need to take what's in your best interest and do it on a daily basis. If that means saying, hey, I have a family history of 3 ACL tears, I don't know if I'm going to get one, but just in case, let me do all the preventative work I need to do on a daily basis, then you should do it. Because one thing is not knowing a history of things that's happened to you or your relatives in the past. The other thing is knowing. Because if that's the case and you're totally and completely ignorant as to what's happened in the past, then you can't hold yourself responsible for what your action steps should be. But if you know what happened in the past, then you should hold yourself responsible, just because you would hate to miss out on an opportunity because you're injured when you could have tried being the key word, to do something about it. That is the worst feeling in the world, knowing you could have done something about an injury, knowing and choosing to not do it, and then having that injury be the end result. It's the worst. You don't want to do that. Do what's in your best interest on a daily basis and take care of your body. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to stay tuned to all of the news in the soccer, injury, and fitness world. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.